A brutal terror attack in India's Kashmir Valley. Over 24 civilians killed, just as U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance begins his first official visit to New Delhi. A haunting déjà vu of March 2000, when President Bill Clinton landed in India and terrorists struck in the very same region. Why do these attacks resurface during high-profile U.S. visits? Who benefits from this bloodshed? And what does this mean for regional security? On Tuesday, April 22, 2025, tragedy struck the serene Bizaran Valley near Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. Around 2:50 p.m., a group of 4 to 6 terrorists disguised in military-style uniforms emerged from the surrounding forests and opened fire on tourists. Bizaran is a peaceful meadow, often dubbed Mini Switzerland, known for its pine-clad hills and pony rides. But on this day, it became a sight of horror. The attackers reportedly posed as policemen, checking IDs and asking names before opening fire. Survivors described chilling moments. Terrorists reportedly asked victims to recite the Kalma, the Islamic declaration of faith. Those who couldn't were shot. At least 26 civilians were killed, most of them Indian tourists. Among the dead were a young Indian Navy officer and an official from India's Intelligence Bureau. Over 20 others were injured in what is now one of the deadliest attacks in Kashmir in recent years. The attack's timing has drawn stark parallels to March 2000, when then U.S. President Bill Clinton visited India. Just hours before his arrival, the remote Sikh village of Chittisinghpura in Anantnag district witnessed a gruesome massacre. Gunmen wearing Indian Army uniforms rounded up Sikh men under the cover of darkness. 35 were shot dead at close range. It was the first mass targeting of Sikhs in the Kashmir insurgency. In both cases, 2025, American dignitaries arrived in India for high-profile diplomatic visits. And both times terror attacks erupted in Kashmir's Anantnag district, targeting civilians in cold blood. These attacks appear designed not just to kill, but to send a message. While no group has claimed responsibility for the April 2025 Pahalgam attack so far, the method and targeting bear the hallmarks of Pakistan-based jihadist outfits like Lashkar-e-Taiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed. Indian intelligence is already pointing to cross-border infiltration. Initial reports indicate the attackers may have received local logistical support, a troubling reminder of the hybrid insurgency model still alive in parts of the valley. The terrorists' choice to impersonate Indian security forces, question victims' religion, and deliver a message for PM Modi hints at a deliberate attempt to provoke communal tensions and international outrage. One survivor recounted being spared only to be told, "Go tell Modi what you saw here." This calculated messaging raises key questions. Who stands to gain from derailing U.S.-India relations? Who fears deeper strategic ties between New Delhi and Washington? Vice President J.D. Vance's visit marks a significant moment in U.S.-India relations. Amid rising tensions with China, Washington is seeking to deepen military and tech cooperation with India. From Indo-Pacific strategy to trade and defense, this trip was meant to reaffirm India's status as a vital U.S. partner. The terror strike threatens to overshadow this agenda. It forces security discussions to the forefront and complicates the optics of the visit. For India, it also reignites debates about the effectiveness of counterterrorism policies in Kashmir, especially under Prime Minister Modi's hardline stance since Article 370's abrogation in 2019. In Pakistan, the timing is just as sensitive. Islamabad is under economic duress and political instability. Any suggestion of Pakistani complicity, even tacit, could trigger diplomatic fallout and renewed calls for global sanctions. The Indian government has strongly condemned the attack, with Prime Minister Modi vowing a crushing response. National mourning has begun. Candlelight vigils are being held across major cities. Social media is ablaze with outrage and sorrow. Vice President Vance, for his part, issued a statement expressing deep sorrow and solidarity with the victims. His visit is continuing but under tightened security. U.S. officials have reiterated support for India's counterterrorism efforts, signaling no pullback from bilateral cooperation.
The president has been briefed by the National Security Advisor, and he's being kept up to speed as more facts are learned. What we know already is dozens were killed and even more were injured in a brutal terrorist attack in a popular tourist location in South Kashmir. President Trump will be speaking with Prime Minister Modi as soon as he possibly can to express his heartfelt condolences for those lost, and our prayers are with those injured and our nation's support for our ally India. These types of horrific events by terrorists are why those of us who work for peace and stability in the world continue our mission. So we'll give you a readout of that call later this afternoon.
The Pahalgam attack is not just an act of terror, it's a geopolitical signal flare. Whether aimed at derailing India's global ascent, undermining U.S. diplomacy, or reigniting violence in the valley, the message is clear. Peace remains elusive in Kashmir. But history also shows that such moments can become inflection points. In 2000, despite the Chitta Singhpura massacre, U.S.-India relations strengthened. Perhaps this time too, tragedy will harden the resolve of both democracies to confront extremism together. This is more than just a local tragedy. It's a reminder that Kashmir remains a flashpoint in a world increasingly defined by great power competition, terrorism, and the fight for regional influence.